Hello everyone. So basically, I recently, like about 1 week ago, saw Dawn of the Planet of the Apes again with my dad because when you first saw, well, I'm not so sure if you have it or not. If you can find it on my channel, my review of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and if you remember seeing that video, you know how hyped and you know how blown on my skull how much I love that film. And since then, I kind of calmed down, but I couldn't get out of my head. I couldn't get it's like a film I couldn't get out of my head for a good reason. And I was just praising to my mom and dad, you gotta see it, you gotta see it, you gotta see it. And last week, I finally dragged my dad to see it. And he told me that he really, really thought it was awesome, thankfully. And he said that he was happy that I dragged him to see it. And basically, I came up with a top 5 list. And basically, of course, that I'm just like, you guys see it, he saw it and he loved it. And basically, through that, I just felt so happy that I was able to convince my dad to see the film that I personally thought, hey, why don't I make a list of the top 5 reasons why you should see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes? Why? Because it's right now my favorite film of this year, and I'm waiting anxiously for Interstellar and The Hobbit to beat it. If they don't, oh well. It's like I can't get a moment of this film that I did not love. It's just I can't help but say this. This film is phenomenal. It's just fucking phenomenal. Of course, I just made a top 5 reasons why you should see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Number 5, the engrossness. What I particularly mean by engrossness is because from the first shot to the last shot, it drags you in. It's like, okay, the film's kind of like, all right, come here, we gonna see you're seeing the film. First moment, I'm just like, I'm hooked. Forget all logic. Forget my in the movie theater. Forget my popcorn. Forget my drink. Forget all that. I'm in the film. It's like first moment. It really makes you feel like you're in the film. It shows how intense, how powerful, and how meaningful it is, and it's so engrossing and so involving and so amazing. It really just makes you feel like you're on this experience within this film. It makes you feel like you're a part of it, and it really makes you feel just so amazed for its own right as a film in general, how amazing it is. And I just felt like from the first second to the very last second, it's like as soon as it ends, I'm just like, all right, I'm in the theater. Like, seamlessly. How can you do that? It's like most films trying so hard to be so good, but this film is just so confident that it just amazes me how amazing it was. And that's why that's why it's just starting off on number 5 for me. Number 4, the characters. Oh my god, the characters were fantastic in this film. I love how these characters somehow represent something like greed, corruption, balance, peace, anarchy, chaos. All these certain things are brought up in modern society, and there's like how they're not how it's like the film isn't really parodying it, or isn't showing like a clear parody. Oh yeah, it's kind of like, oh yes, it's kind of like that. Like it's not like it's like being a cliche or stereotype or anything, but it's showing like it's like how it is in South Park. It's just like, this is who you are. This is how you're behaving. It's like, do you really want to be like that? Do you want to be that person who really hates these people because of some prejudice, or if you're that type of person who just says, no, I want to kill them all, or you just or it shows like if you're the type of person who wants to reason with them, and that you see that they're desperate, or you see that they're helpless, or you see that they're weak. It helps you reflect within these characters and how they are shown within the film, how amazing they are. So you see Koba, he's like a very loyal and yet very, very dedicated chimpanzee. And in fairness within Caesar, and he's like that. Koba is like that morbidly obsessed type of person who would never question his leader. And that's what I call extreme dedication. But then he gets so wrapped up within that he ends up spoiler. I'm sorry, sorry to say here, spoiling, ends up assassinating Caesar. Emphasis on the name Caesar there. I feel dumb now. Well, not dumb, but I feel this kind of weird putting that out. But, thankfully, Caesar doesn't die. I'm sorry for the people who haven't seen the film yet, but I will say that down below. Spoilers. But it really shows an emphasis with the characters. Like, Koba is all about the greed and extreme loyalty, and Caesar shows this balance. This really Metellus, very, very general, is like that character you look at and he's kind of like, you're awesome. He's like I would simply say it. Caesar is kind of like the John Carter or the Leonidas of Apes. He's like that type of seamlessly awesome general who is like, when you look at him, you're just like, that's the man I would follow into the battle with. Like, that's someone you want to treat with a lot of respect and a lot of loyalty and honor. And also the human characters. Jason Clarke's character shows just how desperate and just how needing they are. It's like, when at your lowest low, you will even trust your own enemies, the people who almost try to kill you at one point in your life. And of course, there'll be some people who say, what's wrong with you? You're crazy. It's like, hey, don't question it. Don't question it. We're doing this out of the sign of desperation. We are truly desperate and we need a moment to really reach out and need your help. I know we are your enemies, but we are coming to you within peace. Please give us a chance. And it shows so phenomenally well it is. And of course, not Jason Clarke's character that I just explained, but Gary Oldman's character shows this really real prejudice type of, it's like, no, we got to blow them out. They are responsible for this. It's like, he's like the type of character who's like so wrapped up, blaming them that he can't confess that it's because of our race. It's not because of him. It's because of our race of all things. It's because of how high rocked and how obsessed we've gotten with hating them, and shows a real certain sign of prejudice or of race. I won't say racism, but it brings up a great point of racism and within that. But also biasism within it too, and how we view other people and how we view other cultures, and how it shows how much of a certain level of this of just being pure genocide or pure just war against it. And it's really amazing how it really brings out, portray that within the film. It's just amazing. And that's why I'm saying the characters are definitely one of the most key important characters within a movie, and why the film nails the characters wonderfully. And of course, you see Jason Clarke's family, like the loving and open-minded mother, and a very odd and curious type of son, who I saw a lot of me in. You know, the weird socially weird and awkward type of character. He's very bound up in his artistic skills. I'm just like, when I saw Jason Clarke's son, I'm just like, that's like me. I can relate to him. And that's why I'm putting characters in my number 4 on why this movie's awesome. Number 3, the story. The story is, for any film, the spine. It's like the basic foundation for a film. If you lack on story, it blows. But this film has a phenomenal story. It both has this amazing type of subtlety and yet a pure like resemblance to real life things like genocide and war and anarchy and desperation. And it does it without being preachy. It does that without being forced in your face. It shows just how confident and just how smart this film really is. And it shows just like so brilliant well it is truly within its own ways. And above all things, I just can't help but say the story is just so amazing and just pure amazing. And it shows how who do you not trust within this world. When it comes to your most desperate moments, one little mistake can cost you your life. And it really shows how much of a desperation and how much of a real need that may be within the film. And it really brings that brilliantly and seamlessly out perfectly well. Number 2, the commentary. Now, this basically goes with to my number 5 and number 3 with, genocide, war, race, prejudice, and how biased we can be, and how it really brings out certain emphases within historical views of us, of our within the human race, within other countries, and how we view and how we attack others. And it's this view and this appeal to it is just seamlessly, and I would dare to say it perfectly, just perfect. It was. The commentary in the film was well directed, it was well focused, and the moral things, it was brilliantly executed extremely well. And that's what I'm going to say for my number 2 favorite best thing of the film. And the number 1 best thing of the film is the effects. Holy crap. When I think of great film CGI, I think of these certain films: Gravity, Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Star Trek Into Darkness, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. These are all prime examples of CG done brilliantly well. And a lot of people say, well, where's Avatar? Doesn't Avatar have great effects? It does, but when I was watching that, I'm just like, it's quite clear it's CG. But with these other films, it doesn't get so wrapped up within the CG. It knows how to balance it out within the story. In this film, it uses the best techniques ever for effects. From the opening shot, you just see Caesar probably this close, and it's just a slow zoom out, and it's basically just bone chilling, and it puts you right in the spot and right in the view of the film's perspective, and therefore it really pulls you in from there. It's there's effects on scenery, there's effects on the animals, there's effects that reflects within the balances of both within the final climax of the film. When you see all that action, you see the apes on horses, you see apes on top of tanks, It's just awesome, and the way the effects bound that together are just unbelievable. It makes it just a phenomenal film altogether. And you know what? Everyone always say it, found out if I haven't repeated this again, this is my favorite film of the year so far. This is my favorite film of this year so far, and I want to stress that. And now, of course, going into this film again, I said I'm just there are some moments where I'll be oh yeah, I see that coming. And granted, the film I just did see coming, but the film was just so brilliant well at everything else that I can seriously just forgive that one little thing. That going into this film again, I was just I could kind of tell what's going to happen here and there, but it's they were just so done so perfectly friggin' well that I could forgive that. I could forgive being a bit too predictable, but then again, that's just me being a bit of a being a bit of a snob for the film. And above all things, just thank you for watching, everyone. And I really, 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 really hope you take into consideration if you haven't seen this film or not. Seriously, if you haven't seen this film, and if you can see the film within the theater, do that. It is phenomenal. It's one of the best film experiences I've ever had in my life. And it's a phenomenal film, and I personally think it has no problems. This film has now been in my mind for a full month. And I still can't think of a flaw in it. I still cannot think of a flaw. It's everything. Freaking everything in this film works. And I know it sounds I'm just highly praising the film. And a lot of you guys will be well, Jack, give it some time. Truly think about it. I give it 1 full month. 1 full month. And I still can't think of a flaw in the film. Above all things, I think this film is just amazing. And it's just, to me, it's the best film of the year so far. And I'm really, really hoping some films like Interstellar and The Hobbit to truly top it, because I don't think it will. In the end, please take my words into consideration. And if you haven't seen the film or not, see it. It is worth it. no matter how much it may be. It truly is a magnificent film, and in my view, the best film of the year so far. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope you take this into consideration, like I said before. And thank you for watching, and remember, stay strong. Stay strong. Thank you so very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong.